Ariana, welcome back to my channel. So I look a little different today because I have been trying out all weekend. It's the long weekend, it's Labor Day long weekend right now. I have been trying out a bunch of Halloween-esque makeup tutorials and Halloween eye looks and just spooky stuff all over the weekend, and I ended up turning myself into a clown yesterday. It was a whole ordeal.
Hey bro, can I get a sip of that water? It's not water. Vodka. I like your style. It's vinegar. What? It's vinegar. Puss.
Anyway, so I look a little bit different just because I am just playing around with some spooky content and Halloween content and stuff like that. Just practicing, getting ready for October because it is only September 7th right now. So that is why I kind of look gothic almost. Anyway, I felt that this makeup look was fitting for today's video anyway. I really feel really weird without having nails on. I have a set of nails coming from Scorpion Nails, and I am really excited. They're so fucking cute and they're already on the way, and I'm just waiting for them to get here. I have another set in here that I can put on, but I have been lazy. So I am really excited to read today's video. So today's video is actually kind of a collaboration almost with somebody that I've become friends with on Twitter. So his name is Kody. He is a YouTuber here on the platform. His YouTube is Mystery Archives, and he has amazing fucking content. I have literally binged his entire channel. I love his channel so much. He is such a great content creator, and I highly recommend that you guys go give him a subscribe, give him all the likes, give him all of the love because he definitely deserves it. He makes crazy content. So he does mysteries, obviously. He also does spooky content. He does spooky stories like I do, and he just does really cool content. So if you guys are, my hair is bugging me. So if you guys are looking for more spooky content to go watch, I highly recommend going and watching Kody's channel. So what I mean by in collaboration, I actually, he has this exact story that I'm gonna read on today's video. He has it already up on his channel, and I actually messaged him and asked him if I could read it on my channel, and he said definitely go ahead. So he sent it to me all over email. He sent me, this is a true story that happened to him when he was younger, and it's fucking crazy, and I really wanted to share it with you guys because I find it even more freaky when it's true stories and when it's spooky content and ghost related content and demon related content, and it's all factual and, well, I mean, sort of factual. He's saying that it happened, so I believe him. So I find it's even more crazy when it is a true story. So that is why I am bringing his story to my channel and gonna read it with you guys because it's crazy and it's just crazy. So of course, we're gonna start off by lighting a candle. So I'm still gonna be lighting the same candle I think I used in my last spooky video, which was glazed cinnamon bun. That, or I did it in a makeup video. I don't remember, but I definitely want to continue using this candle because it smells so good. It's been in my office since, I just dropped wax on me. It's been in my studio since I put it in here a couple of weeks ago, and my whole studio just smells like cinnamon buns, and I freaking love it. So I'm very excited. So if you guys are interested in this wig, I got it from Eva Hair a couple of years ago. It's really tangled, but it is not my favorite wig, honestly. I really like that it is a split half down the middle gray and black wig. I think it's really cute. I just don't really like the particular feeling of this hair. I find that this hair doesn't feel that great, and the curls have really tangled and fallen, and as you can see, well, you can't really see on that side, but you can see on this side, they're pretty tangled. I mean, I do store my wigs in bags and stuff, so that is part of the reason that this wig is so tangled, but I do think that this wig got tangled really quickly, really fast, and the curls definitely fell really fast, so I don't necessarily recommend this wig, but it is still pretty cute. So that's why I decided to wear it today, because I haven't worn it in a very long time. So, with all my rambling, I have a drink ready. I have my Batman cup, my really cool chrome straw, and I have my Lipton iced tea. So I have these, I've been trying these Lipton iced teas out because I'm a really sucker for iced tea, and this is a 40% less sugar than the leading iced tea brands out there, and it's peach flavored, and I figured why not get an iced tea, and it's probably not even gonna remotely fill this cup because this cup is massive, but oh, we did pretty good actually. So, yum. All right, let me pull up Kody's story because it is crazy. All right, here we go. The entity in the basement. I don't want to say where, but I used to live in a duplex style house in a small city growing up. From the first night I stayed in the house, I experienced things that made the hair on my arms kind of raise up. I was woke up by a small child the first night I slept in my room. He seemed to be glowing a strange blue color, but after poking me in the arm, just proceeded to stare at me with blank, lifeless eyes. I got up and ran past him so fast that the noise woke up my parents. After that scare in particular, I wouldn't sleep in my room for the next several weeks until my parents made me go back. After about 4 months at that house, things took a darker turn. Whatever presence within the house seemed to make things worse. My mother, who had a tendency to hoard things, seemed to have that behavior greatly intensified, because around this time she began to hoard things more than ever before, cluttering both the basement, rooms, and garage with junk, as well as impulse buying multiple dogs at once. Oh my god, that would be amazing though. I would be fine with that. This began to strain an already strained and dysfunctional marriage between her and my father. And whenever things seemed to be getting worse between the both of them, the thicker the air became and the more activity we seemed to experience on a daily basis. One day, shortly after this behavior began to get worse, while heading to the basement to get some drinks from the fridge, I was about halfway down the stairs and witnessed a large wardrobe box being hurled from one side of the basement to the other. I have chills. Ugh. Ugh. A good 25 to 30 feet. This scared me so bad as a child that I ran up the stairs and wouldn't go back down there without company, at any time for any reason thereafter. And I wasn't the only one who have witnessed strange things originating from there. My father believed there was something down there, something that was so dark that after one experience he refused to divulge. Wouldn't go down there either unless it was out of absolute necessity. I don't know the details of his story, but I know that he heard voices while sleeping in the spare room we had down there, and then saw something that frightened him so badly that he still refuses to talk about it to this day. Things continued to get even worse from here. My parents ended up getting a divorce, and that left us kids with my dad at the time in the duplex while things were being figured out. Our neighbor seemed to have lost his mind. He tried to actually convince my dad to help him kill his wife, who he believed was cheating on him. Thankfully, the offer was refused, and shortly after this interaction, he was arrested for attempting to hire a hitman to kill her. Whether it was related to the presence in the house or not, it was very well could have been. It's certainly worth mentioning. The activity by the time had become so violent that we all began to sleep in the living room together. Unknown to me at the time, I wasn't the only one that this would happen to. It seemed like for whatever reason, I would always be woke up around 3 a.m. in a state of absolute terror. I would be so scared that I would be afraid to breathe, let alone move. With my head on the floor, I would hear what could only be described as the sound of breaking glass. I would hear things being thrown around, broken and mangled. When I would try to wake up my siblings or my father up, I could never manage to do so. And I knew I wasn't dreaming because oftentimes I would stay awake until the sun came up, too scared to try to sleep. I would later find out that this happened to both my brother and sister and my dad at random times during our time there. On top of all this, we had a lot of animal deaths within that house over a year. Long duration, we lost a total of 7 animals altogether. Along with the hoarding material goods, my mother would also tend to hoard animals as well. Not sure why, but they often passed randomly after acting extremely strange for about the course of a week. We had cared for the pets perfectly healthy and vibrant weeks before, would seemingly die out of nowhere, and that always seemed to bother me to my core. As if whatever was in the house seemed to feed off the death and sorrow. Thankfully, us kids ended up moving out of that house full-time once the divorce was finalized, and shortly after my father left the house as well for good, closing a very disturbing chapter in my life. After we had left, we noticed that anytime we would drive by the house heading through the old neighborhood, there would always be a revolving door of people moving in and out. And honestly, I don't blame them, because whatever lives in the basement feeds on misery and destruction. So that is a true story. Sorry guys, the punctuation in this particular, he sent it to me over email, was like really weird. And I suck at reading already, so some of the, I don't know what happened to this PDF, but some of the stuff was like out of sorts and it was hard to read. But I managed. So that's really, really creepy. Kody, I don't know what I would have done if I had lived in a house where I had 7 animals die. I would have literally probably died myself because my animals are my life. Oh my god. Them all sleeping in the living room together really reminded me of Paranormal Activity. Then I think it was the first one where they all slept in the living room because the house was so fucking messed up that they didn't want to be without each other, and that's totally what that reminded me of. Holy crap, that's creepy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We're gonna move on to the next story. So he sent me 2 stories. So that was the entity in the basement, and now we're gonna move on to the snarling in the walls. So that story was really creepy and holy crap. Alright, this one is called The Snarling in the Walls. Around age 10, after my parents got divorced, I moved to a small town of about 1,800 people. I lived in a large farm-style house with my aunt and uncle, my mother, my little sister, who's 2 years younger than me, and my little brother, who's 6 years younger than me. Strange things often happened while we lived there, such as seeing a translucent man run from one end of the hallway into the bathroom and out of existence while walking up the stairs. I was so scared that I fell down the stairs and would dread having to use the bathroom for months after. I then picked my uncle's dad out of a family reunion photo, never having seen him before, as the man I saw that night. However, things only got stranger from there. My uncle, aunt, and mom were usually gone frequently, whether it was work or errands or both, leaving us kids to ourselves a good chunk of the time. Around this time, my grandmother had passed away in our home. She had been living with us in the last days of her life, and although strange things had happened before, they intensified greatly after her passing. For context, the house we lived in was over 100 years old, and the only working place to bathe ourselves was an old shower in the basement in the laundry room. The shower was cracked concrete with an old spigot-style shower head. Looking up, you could see the cobwebs and the planks of the kitchen overhead as they descended into the darkness of the structure. My aunt and my mother, who were both hoarders, had a significant amount of junk piled up in the basement, making it hard to navigate, and adjacent to the shower was an old cannery that had long since been abandoned. Since having piles of old cans stored within its walls, needless to say, it was already a creepy place all on its own, let alone when things started to happen. During the weeks after my grandma's passing, our doorbell began to ring at really odd hours of the night. Thinking it was just some kids bored in our small town and playing a prank, my uncle disconnected the doorbell, so we could all get some rest. But despite that doorbell being completely removed, it continued to ring. Ugh. No. Often at around 3 to 4 a.m. in the morning. Oh my god, the witching hour? No fucking thank you. Ugh, I would freak. I would be so mad. I would just sit in front of, next to my doorbell all night. Probably. Yep, that's what I would do. Often at around 3 or 4 in the morning, and it would often ring in threes, but not always. Okay, if it rings in threes, that's literally like when in horror movies, Hollywood-style movies, when you hear knocking on the walls in threes, they say that it's a mock to the Holy Trinity. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's supposed to be like they are knocking to mock it. So if they're ringing at 3 to 4 a.m. in threes, that's a really bad sign. No thanks. I need to find where I stopped reading. I literally have chills running up and down my spine right now and my arms. Holy crap. Okay. Often at around 3 or 4 in the morning, and it would often ring in threes, but not always. This perplexed and freaked us out. We eventually told ourselves that it had to have been some sort of problem with the wiring or something. When it was time to take a shower and get ready for bed, we would go in pairs as to not be scared. One of us would shower and the other would stand outside the door and talk to the other. We often played an old boombox stereo with whatever CD we had at the time to help us keep calm while we did what we needed to do. One night I was keeping watch while my sister showered. We talked, as we often did, about what had happened that day at school and what was going on with our lives at the time. Really loud truck. Thanks. And suddenly the power went out. And what made that worse was that the boom box was still playing at the time, faded into an eerie low octave as it shut down. My sister, who was already terrified at this point and covered in soap, began to freak out. Me, trying to keep the peace, tried to talk her through their situation. I told her to try to rinse the soap off and quickly grab a towel so we could go back upstairs. But about the time that those words left my mouth, there was a loud scratching noise coming from the wall that separated the laundry room and the basement's living room. Not knowing what was happening, I began to get incredibly scared as well, because I knew that wall was concrete, so it couldn't have been an animal. Over the shrill screams of my sister, I began to hear what could only be described as a horrible snarling noise, something unearthly, as if the vocal cords of a pig and a person had been intertwined while they both screamed. At this point, my sister and I were both screaming. My sister panicked, was scratching my back, trying to claw her way to me in the darkness of the basement. In a surge of adrenaline, I tossed her in front of me and we both hastily made our way up the stairs. As we got into the living room, the power came back on and the lights began to flicker as we continued to hear the noise come up from the basement. It sounded as if it was coming through the basement wall and into the floor below us. Terrified, we ran outside onto our back porch and into our yard, where we stayed for the next 2 hours until our mom got home. Now, this snarling continued to happen for 2 more years, at extremely random times, and worse yet, since we had no room or beds of our own, me and my brother during these 2 years had to sleep down there on blanket pallets. I have more tales from this time in my life, but those are for another time. As for the passing of my grandma and the beginning of this horrible phenomena, my grandmother was a lovely woman who cared for us kindly and deeply, so I highly doubt it had anything to do with her. But maybe somehow her passing triggered something in an already haunted house. Who knows? Ah, Kody! No, that's horrifying. I don't know what the fuck I would do. I don't know what I would do. I would not stay in that house. You are a trooper for staying there for 2 more years? 2 more fucking years in that hellhole? No. No, thank you. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. No. Holy shit. Okay, so I have already heard these stories before, obviously, because I watched Kody's channel where he narrated these ones, and rereading them still gave me the same amount of adrenaline and chills and freaked outness as it was the first time that I heard these stories, and holy crap. If you have any more stories, Kody, that you want to send to me so I can read on the channel and narrate and react to, please send them to me because your life seems to be a hell of a lot more interesting than mine. I don't have anything remotely even close to that. The only really scary things that have ever happened to me was one time when I was a kid, I was standing in my bathroom. I think I was on my phone. I think I was taking a picture in the mirror, or I was doing something. I was doing something in my bathroom, and I watched in the mirror as my shower curtain lifted up and went into the tub. Not that scary, but at the time I was like, what the fuck, my shower curtain just moved, and I spun around and it was completely normal. So I don't know if I was just like tripping balls or what the hell was going on that night, but it freaked me the heck out and I ran out of my house. The other things that I've had is very like mundane things. Like I heard whispering. I heard something whisper my name one time. My brother was also a prankster, so it could have been my brother, my older brother. He swears up and down that it wasn't him, because I remember I confronted him and I was like, did you just fucking whisper my name? And he was like, no, I've been down here reading. So he swears it wasn't him. My mom says that Ryan didn't move, but something whispered my name and it freaked me the fuck out. A few other things, I've had sleep paralysis in my house, but like my parents' house, and that was kind of freaky. The other thing was my ex-boyfriend was sleeping downstairs on the couch and I was sleeping upstairs in my room. I don't know why he wasn't sleeping with me, but he was downstairs on the couch. I think he was just having a nap, and I guess he heard something come up come up the basement stairs, open the door and tug on his foot, and when he woke up there was nothing there. So that's creepy. I don't know, some weird things have happened in my parents' house, but nothing like that. Like nothing like that. Thank fucking God. I would freak the fuck out if anything like that happened. The only other thing that some things have happened in this house too. Kyle, my boyfriend, does not believe in the supernatural, paranormal, whatever. He does not. He completely writes it off. He finds a rational reason for everything, whereas I like to scare the crap out of myself. A few things have happened here, like talking about in the like couple last videos how my camera's been doing really weird things since I've started doing this series on my channel, where it will say that it's recording, the little red light will be showing that it's recording, I'll see my screen, I'll see my face on the screen, whatever, and then my footage will just disappear. It will not have recorded at all, which is really odd. I don't know why. I've also seen a shadow figure go across my window right here. I have a window in my studio, it's on the 2nd floor. I've seen like a shadow figure go across, and that makes no sense because we're literally on the 2nd floor, so don't know what that was. I've heard knocking, so not in threes, nothing like that, but I was sitting in my living room and I heard somebody like knock on the house, and like it freaked me out, so I ran and got my boyfriend and I was like, I think someone's in the backyard, like somebody just knocked, and we searched everywhere, couldn't find anything. There was nothing that made the knocking noise, like we have no idea what it was. It's happened a couple times, like our basement bathroom is where I take my baths and stuff and get ready for bed. I've heard knocking on that window too and nothing's been there. I've gone and checked, and it always happens at like nighttime, so it's just freaky. I don't know, it's just weird things have happened. My boyfriend's mom has, my hair is still bugging me. My boyfriend's mom has some stories that she wants to share with me so that I can share on my channel with you guys and do a reaction to. My hair is in the way, and I haven't actually gotten able to sit down and hear those stories yet. So when she does tell me those stories, I will come on here and I will do a story time of all the weird things that has happened to her, because she's had weird things happen in this house too, so that's really fun and I'm really excited. So I only read 2 stories tonight because I just wanted to keep this video very much just a collaboration with Kody. It's more of like a collaboration on my side because I asked him if I could read his stories. He's not doing anything, like it's not returned or anything, which is fine. I just asked him if I could read his stories and give him a little bit of a shout out. He is doing so well on YouTube. He recently started his channel not very long ago and he is fucking killing it. So I'm really excited for him. I hope he does really well on this channel. I cannot wait until he is monetized. He is so close. I think last time that we talked, he said that he only needed like 400 more hours to reach the 4,000 threshold. So that's really exciting. I'm so happy for him. And I hope you guys will go check out his channel. All of the links for his channel will be linked down below, so you guys can go give him a follow, a like, give him all the love. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys are enjoying these spooky stories that I got on here, and I'm so super excited for spooky season. It's almost here. We are getting so close. It is literally the first week of September is already gone. Okay, my bangs are driving me crazy. This is why I don't wear wigs with bangs, because they freaking bug me. The first week of September is already gone, and we're moving into spooky season. I'm so excited. So if you guys have any recommendations for spooky stories or spooky content, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys want any certain makeup tutorials that you want that are in the spooky area, let me know. I will try to do all the spooky content I can this season. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye!